Hey guys, so welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be talking about myself in more detail in case you're interested in knowing more about me. I'm going to be going from the start of when I was young to where I am now, and I'm going to go from there. I'll probably go off topic quite a bit, but it's just because I like to explain things in more detail. So yeah, stick around for the ride and sit back, relax, have a drink. I'm not sure what you're drinking right now, but if you're having a coffee, right now in Toronto it's 11:07 a.m. I'm not sure where you're watching this in the world. Right now I have followers in a few different countries, so the time zones are different. But yeah, sit back and enjoy. So you guys are probably wondering who I am, who this mysterious man in yellow is who keeps posting all these interesting pictures of these condominiums that you keep seeing recently, and pictures of my cat who passed away, and pictures from the past, and memories that I still look at on my drive that I actually have plugged into my computer right now. I mean, it's amazing looking through all these pictures and going back in time and reminiscing about who I once was and where I am now, and it's incredible. It's incredible how time has flown so fast. That we're all here in 2020. That we're all living in the third decade of the 21st century, and it's just incredible. It's just incredible. It seems like yesterday you were a child, and now you're an adult, and now you have responsibilities, and now you have to look out for yourself. You have to take care of yourself, and it's incredible. It's just time is just it just keeps going. It just keeps going. Right now I'm talking with one of my friends who I haven't seen in years. She's following me on Instagram, and I'm following her as well, and we were reminiscing about the past. It's quite something to find out where she is and to let her know where I am now. It's incredible. But so let's get back on track here. Let me just set this up a bit here. I need a better stand, but for right now, this is what it is. So, in case you don't know, my full name is Jonathan Robert Dessert. Dessert is French. There's actually a paint store called Dessert Paints, actually here in Toronto. I'm not sure if they're a distant cousin, but besides the point. I mean, it's a French name, so I'll just leave it at that. But here, let me just center that. But I was born in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I've been living here my whole life. I was born into a family. I am the only child. I don't have any brothers or sisters. I am 35 years old now. I'm turning 35. I was born in 1985, in October of that year. The same year that Back to the Future came out. I'm not sure if any of you guys seen that movie. I'm sure all of you have seen that movie. Like, if you haven't seen that movie, something is wrong. It's like one of the best movies of all time. And it's also the same year that one of my favorite songs, The Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News, which is on the movie, came out. So I was born here in Toronto, Ontario, and I lived in this apartment for the first 7 years of my life, from 1985 to 1992. I went to St. Cyril's Elementary School. I was there for like the entire 90s decade. I was from grade 1 to grade 8, and so I went to school there, and in 1992, we moved into our first house, also in Toronto. We were there for about 4 years. I just want to note that the two places that I lived in my story so far are in North York, which is actually a suburb of Toronto, but which is now part of Toronto. And now, because in 1998, Toronto became a megacity. It became Metropolitan Toronto. We used to be just 5 boroughs. There was Etobicoke, North York, downtown Toronto, which was called Toronto. There was East York, and then there was Scarborough. But now the word is amalgamated into one big city. The 5 boroughs became one big city. So, and that's how it's been since 1998. But getting back on track. So I was living in our first house for 4 years, and then unfortunately my dad lost his job. He was a banker, and he unfortunately lost his job, and because of that we had to move out into a place still in North York, but into another house that other people owned. So we rented from them for 6 years, from 1996 to 2002. And this again was in North York. So I was finishing up my elementary school in 1999, and I started high school in the fall of that year. And then we moved out into our third house in 2002. We were there for about 8 years, from 2002 to 2010. The entire 2000s, well, almost the entire 2000s decade, we were living there at Park Home Avenue and Yonge Street in Toronto, again, North York. As you can see, I am a North York person, even though now I live in Midtown, being a single adult living on my own. I am now living here at Eglinton Avenue West and Keele Street. It's called York, Ontario, but it's actually part of Toronto. So but even though it's still called that, I think the post office still calls it York, but I still put Toronto on all my mail. Anyway, so I finished high school when I was living at Park Home Avenue, and I started college. I went to Seneca College at their main Newnham campus at Finch Avenue West and Don Mills in the east end of the city. So I was there for about 2 years, and I finished there in 2007. Thanks to college, I was able to land my first job ever. It was a co-op job. I worked at Staples Business Depot for about a couple months. It was the entire summer of 2005 that I was working there. It was a co-op job that became a job for the summer, but college was helpful. Seneca was helpful in getting me to land that job. And then after college in 2007, I landed my second job. I worked for a company called Party Packagers. I worked as a night crew staff member. So I was in charge of replenishing shelves, bringing things from the back, putting things out. And I worked there for the entire fall of 2007. It was the first real, school year that I wasn't in school. From the fall of 2007 to the summer of 2008. In 2008, I decided to do environmental studies, and I applied to York University because my parents went there. It was the only one I knew about, and I ended up getting accepted to do environmental studies in the fall of that year. It was an interesting process. So much paperwork. Like, if you guys ever apply to university, so much paperwork. And I ended up working at Fabricland. I was able to land Fabricland, my third job, and it ended up being my longest job to date for 3.5 years. I was one of the only male staff members. I worked with many women from different diverse backgrounds, which was really cool. It was there that I got to learn Farsi. I got to learn a little bit of Persian because I worked with 5 Iranian women, and it was quite an experience learning about the culture, about them, and working with them. It was quite an experience and really fun work atmosphere. My store manager always used to say, "Hello, young man," and I was like, "Hi." So she was very nice, very, very caring, and yeah, it was a great job. But back on track, see, this is going to happen a lot. Back on track, I started university in the fall of 2008, and my first year of university was really tough because it's like 4 years of high school. Like you have 30. I don't know what it's like in other parts of the world where you're from, but here in Ontario and Canada, it's 30 credits for 4 years in high school, but in university, it's 30 credits per year. So it's a 120 credit full course load program. So that's what I was taking, environmental studies at York. So I ended up doing that. My first year was tough. I ended up dropping a few courses because they were just a bit too much for me, and I ended up redoing one of them the following year in my second year. I also did other programs, other fun stuff. Like I did an acting for non-majors course, and I did a piano for non-majors course as well, which I thought was really fun, because I love music. I always have loved music. I'm hoping to do some keyboard pieces on my channel. If you guys are interested in seeing that, you can check that out as well. So that's what I want to do on the channel. I'm not as good, but maybe I could be better. But yeah, it was really fun doing that course. And in my third year, this was when my parents were moving out of Toronto. This was 2010, when we moved out of our house at Parkholme Avenue in Yonge Street. And I ended up moving out a month before. I moved out in August of the year. They moved out in September. So I was living on my own after August. And talk about when you move out of your parents, you're so used to being cared for and loved, and you're so used to all the attention. But I got to tell you, my second day that I was living on my own, I was bawling my eyes out. I was crying. Because I've never felt so alone in my life. Like I never really felt like, because like, where's mom? Where's dad? Where are my parents? You know? And it was quite the experience. So, I don't know why I'm getting emotional now, but yeah, it was fun. You know, it was fun because when you live on your own, you get to do what you want. You don't have parents telling you what to do, right? So it was scary. The scariest moment I ever had was that second day living on my own. But my mom was nice enough. She brought me back to the house before they moved, just to keep me company, and I ended up helping them move out into their new house where they still live now. 10 years this September in 2020. It's going to be 10 years since they moved out, but I helped them move in, and we got to drive in this moving truck, and it was quite something. My dad didn't know how to drive it. He had trouble backing the moving truck into our driveway. It's like all the cars were stopped. All the cars were stopped. They were honking. It was like, let's go, man, let's go. You know? It was, and it's funny because the truck was yellow. So here I am going on about the color yellow again. But anyway, I am really getting off topic. Like now I'm talking about moving. Well, I kind of want to move out now, but I'll get to that later. So I helped them move out, and then I was going into my third year of university, living at this place called The Village, which was a residence, suburban residence, just south of York University campus. And I was living there for about a good year before I decided to move into the York University apartments, which are technically on university property. The Village isn't really, well, that's what the housing development was called, The Village. The Village wasn't part of York. It was its own thing. So I ended up moving to the York University apartments in the fall of 2011. Third year of school was actually good because I got to do urban studies. I got to study the urban stream of environmental studies. So I was really fascinated with the landscape and the concept of land and how interesting, what land is and who owns the land and how people who come from another country influence the land and develop it to suit their comfort and their needs and their liking. It was a phenomenal course, and I recommend you guys, if you guys do environmental studies, go to York University. It's a phenomenal program. Hashtag FES York. It's phenomenal. They have their own faculty, they have their own program, and it's phenomenal. But yeah, I ended up going to my third year, and then when I moved out into the York University apartments, I was going into my fourth year, which started in the fall of 2011. And my friend helped me and my mom move me in, and we ended up helping this girl move into her dorm, and it's kind of funny because I ended up doing... I don't really want to get into details about it, but because I know that my audience is a general audience, so I want to keep things as kid-friendly, adult-friendly. I want to keep things neutral and clean, so I don't want to get into anything else. But I'm just going to say it was fun. It was a fun, interesting experience, let me tell you. So I ended up doing that, and I ended up living there for the entire fourth year of university. The fourth year was the hardest. I ended up leaving Fabricland, which was my job, because I was taking a full course load. Sorry, my speech. And I ended up having to quit Fabricland because there was no way I was going to balance a job with a full course load. No way. And it was stressful. It was fun. But I made sure to stay on top of all my subjects, on top of all my homework, on top of all my assignments, on top of all my group work. I had never worked so hard in my life. That was the hardest year. The fourth year, the final year of university, was the hardest year. And but it was fun. It was a lot of fun now that I look back on it. But at the time, it was like, whew. I had to take a deep breath. But so yeah, I finished my final year of university. I finished with a mixture of A's and B's. I find that my marks were better than high school. It's funny how your marks in high school are worse than your marks in college and university. It's just, and I still can't figure out why that is. It's like high school is just an experience. Like you have to do well, you have to fit in. You're either sociable or you're not. There are all these cliques. There are all these different groups that you have to try and fit in with, and if you don't, well, tough luck. You have strict teachers, you have to wear a uniform, because I went to an all-boys high school, so we had to wear a uniform, and yeah, that was fun. But yeah, so I ended up, in 2012, I ended up finishing environmental studies in the summer of that year, and looking for a job. I mean, well, what comes next after university? You have to have a game plan. Where's the career? Where's the job at the end of the tunnel? Well, unfortunately, there was no career. It was very hard finding work. I actually tried to jumpstart my career by trying to work on farms around the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area, which is the bunch of different cities that surround Toronto. Toronto's a big city, but we're also have a lot of suburbs and a lot of big cities that surround us as well. To the west of us is Mississauga, which is another big city. Probably, I think it's the 7th largest city in Canada. So Toronto's the largest in Canada. Mississauga is the 7th largest in Canada. Then we have Brampton, another city to the northwest, which is also a big city. And then to the east of us, we have these medium-sized cities. We have Pickering, Ontario, and then we have another one called Ajax, and if you keep going, there's Oshawa, and then to the northeast you have Peterborough. So Toronto is just like this. It's so big. It's just so big. I don't want to say we're becoming like Los Angeles, which has tons of different boroughs and different cities that surround it. We are an exopolis. That's the term. And an exopolis is really like you have the downtown core, you have the city, and then you have the surrounding suburbs and boroughs that are also cities in themselves that surround it. So it's Toronto's kind of like that, but on a smaller scale, because Los Angeles is just so huge. But anyway, I'm getting off topic again. Here we go again. But so yeah, what was I talking about? I forgot now. But anyways, yes. So I went to jumpstart my career on farms. I went to London, Ontario. I went to Peterborough, Ontario. I went to Barrie, Ontario, and nothing. They said, unfortunately, we'll be looking at other people, or unfortunately, we decided to pursue other interests. So 2013 was tough. 2013 was very tough, guys. 2013, I moved out of the apartments because I was no longer a student. When you're no longer a student, you have to, unfortunately, move out. And so I ended up, unfortunately, having to move into this basement in someone's house because I had no choice. And it was 9 months of heck. 9 months of just pure heck. Noise, it was loud, it was dirty. The owner of the house, who was the landlord, was unfortunately very rude, and I ended up leaving after 9 months. And I moved to this apartment. I actually found this guy who was looking for a roommate, and I ended up moving to Yonge Street and Sherwood Avenue. So I ended up moving back to Yonge Street, and I thought this was great. I mean, I'm living in this area called Uptown Yonge. There's shops, there's cafes, there's the Yonge Eglinton Center, which I hope to take pictures of this year and show you guys on my Instagram. But yeah, I was living there for 5 months because he and I were unfortunately not getting along, and I ended up moving in with the person who I currently live with right now. He actually saved me from him. So I'm still currently living with him, and I'm still living here. I moved to this apartment that I'm living in that you see in the background. Well, this is my room. I've been living here 6 years. Well, almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years in February. So I've been living here with him for 6 years. It's been an experience. He's a bit quirky. He's a bit interesting. He kind of makes me want to pull my hair out. But for the most part, we have gotten along. I mean, there have been issues, but for the most part, we have tried to make it work. He's actually going to be helping me out doing some videos on YouTube, because I want to do like dance videos and I want to do other things as well, and he offered to help me out, which was nice, and I appreciate that. So I'm glad that he's there to help me and to help me live this YouTube dream, I guess, that I want to do, or this Instagram life that I want to have. Because Instagram has been amazing. Instagram has really changed my life. Like, it's ever since I started it on New Year's Day this year, 2020, because it's a new decade, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to document the next 10 years of my life. I thought, you know what? I want to do Instagram. I want to do this. And hearing about it when I first heard about Instagram was actually 2 years ago when I landed an on-office job, and I'll get to that as well. We were updating influencers' social media platforms. If you know what influencers are, they're people who use social media on a daily basis to update their lifestyle, and we were working with them in terms of brands. If they like something, maybe other people would like something. Like, for example, if they're a sponsor of Coca-Cola, for example, maybe other people would like Coca-Cola, or what they were wearing, maybe other people would like that. So we were kind of working on that for a couple months. But I'll get to that as well. So I ended up landing a job in 2013. Since the career didn't work out, I ended up finding Lowe's, and I worked at Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse at their Castlefield Avenue and Caledonia Road location, which I actually still live near. And I worked there for about almost a year. It was fun, because I got to work in self-checkout. I know the world is going the way of self-checkout for cashiers, unfortunately. That's just the way it is. But yeah, like I worked there for about almost a year. That's where I met my current roommate that I'm living with now. So I ended up meeting him there, and then when I quit that, I actually wanted to work full time, because they weren't giving me full time hours as much as I would have hoped. So I ended up leaving because it just wasn't for me in the end, and I found this other job which unfortunately didn't work out, and I ended up leaving as a result after a couple months. So it was during the 2014 World Cup when Germany won, and we were watching it on our TVs, on our computer screens in June, because I was working that day. It was it was July. Yeah, it was July 13th, 2014, I believe, when Germany won. But yeah, it was quite fun, quite a fun day. But unfortunately, the job didn't work out, and I ended up trying other things. I actually worked in the warehouse. I decided to change from retail to the warehouse for a little bit, and I ended up working at TJX Winners Distribution Center. That was fun. So I was there for about a month and a half, and I ended up meeting one of my friends who I still talk to. His name is Mike. He actually befriended me, and we actually been hanging out ever since. So, but it just wasn't for me, and then I ended up landing a job at Kitchen Stuff Plus Distribution Center up on Caledonia Road in Tychos, where I still currently live. And that job ended up being one of the best jobs I ever worked at. I loved picking orders. I loved going into aisles, picking up boxes, putting them on skids, bringing them to the shipping area where they would get wrapped and sent out to all of our stores. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. One of the best and funnest. Funnest is a word? Funnest. Okay, whatever. Fun jobs. Yeah, fun jobs that I ever worked at. So yeah, I was there about 2 years, and then I left because I decided to go back to school and do office administration. And I did office administration at this private college in 2017. And then when I finished, that's when I landed this job called Brand Fit, where I was talking about Instagram earlier, and how I first heard about Instagram was when we were, as I said, updating the influencer social media platforms. Unfortunately, the job, they let us go. It was only seasonal. They didn't need us anymore. We had done our job, and they let us go at the start of March of 2018. And it was sad because I thought I saw my career. I thought I saw something that I loved that was going to lead to something. It ended up not happening for me. So I ended up going through this agency, and this agency ended up helping me find another office job up at Steeles Avenue West in Toronto, and I thought that was going to work out, but apparently they said I wasn't picking up on information quick enough. I wasn't fast enough, and they needed someone to learn quickly to replace the person who was there for like 20 years, so it just wasn't meant to be. So I decided to go back to retail. I decided to go back to customer service, and I applied because that was my roots. That's what I'm good at. And I ended up finding out about this Fabrica TD location. And I did research on Fabrica, and I was like, this is interesting. It's an Italian restaurant that is authentic and rustic, and always looking for new Italian recipes and dishes. And I learned about who Mark McEwen was. He's one of the top chefs in the country. He's also head judge on Top Chef Canada. If you guys ever watch that show, I unfortunately don't, because I don't have a TV right now. But it's his flagship restaurant. The main restaurant's actually at Dom Mills in Lawrence, where the original McEwen is, which I'll get into later. And so I ended up getting an interview, and the son of the owner conducted my interview. And I remember being, I was nervous, but I was confident because I knew I was so invested in this company. Like, what I saw, I just liked. I wrote a great cover letter, and I put out a great resume, and I wanted to do this. I invested my time in doing this, and I felt like I wanted to work here. So he conducted my interview, and this was when the boards were still up. The store had not yet opened. The McEwen was open. The McEwen TD location's been open since July of 2015, but the Fabrica TD location had yet to be opened. The boards were still up. So yeah, he conducted my interview, and then a day later I ended up getting a call back from him, and I got the job. So I was doing training when the boards were still up. I was one of the first employees of their Fabrica TD location. It was great. So yeah, and I was there for the summer of 2018. I ended up being kept on after my 3-month probation, and I ended up gaining more responsibility. I started out as a cashier and customer service representative, and I ended up helping tearing down the hot table and antipesto bar. It was a lot of fun, and I made sure that I was thorough with my cleaning. I made sure that I was doing a good job, because I wanted to make sure that hot table was spick and span at the end of every day. Like, I was working hard. Like, if you ask anybody, they'll say, like, Jonathan worked really hard, and he gave it his all, and a lot of guests said great things. A lot of customers said good things. Son of the owner liked how I worked, and I was working on the pass, which was when the pizza was ready or sandwich was ready. We would bring it to the guest, call out the order number, and give the food to the guest. It was a lot of fun, and it was a great job. It was a great job. It was a great experience, great launching pad for what was about to happen next. Because in the fall, I felt like I was doing well, but I felt like I wasn't getting enough hours, even though it wasn't about the hours. I was committed to the company, and I was committed to working for Fabrica TD, but I felt it just wasn't enough. So I found out that McEwen was going to open up a new location at Yonge and Bloor, and I was interested, and I applied. I sent in my resume because I wanted to work there. I wanted to work at both Fabrica TD and McEwen Yonge and Bloor. So I ended up having the interview in November of 2018. I was interviewed by the general manager of the Don Mills location and the future store manager of the Yonge and Bloor location, who was sitting right beside me. So I told them what I did at Fabrica TD. Sorry, I have a bit of a stutter. So I ended up telling them I sold myself, and I got the job in December. And there were delays. There were delays, like any new location. There's always stuff that has to get approved, or stuff that has to get signed off on, or because we've got to make sure everything is a go, because we don't want to forget any important information, right? So, especially if you're dealing with food, there's a lot of things you have to look into and consider. So, I ended up getting the job, and I started in January of 2019. We opened up the new location on January 14th of 2019. And I wanted to work the first day. I wanted to work opening day. I was so excited about it, but the manager at Fabrica TD, she wouldn't let me because she needed me to work that day. So I didn't end up working until the 5th day of opening. That was January 18th, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow is my 1 year. My 1 year at McEwen Yonge and Bloor is tomorrow. And it's quite something that I've been with McEwen Yonge and Bloor for 1 year. But yeah, I ended up working at both places for a month before I decided to quit Fabrica TD. I don't really want to go into more detail about it, but I ended up quitting that to work at McEwen Yonge and Bloor full time. Thought there was growth, more growth than working at Fabrica. So, because you can work in so many different departments when you work at McEwen, you can actually grow with the business more than you would at Fabrica. But even though there was growth at Fabrica, there was more growth at McEwen. So, but yeah, I ended up working there full time for the entire year last year. I ended up getting more responsibility as well. I worked in other departments. I worked in their RMR department. RMR stands for Restaurant Meal Replacement. And I helped serve paninis, I helped warm up paninis, I helped grill paninis, and I've been a really awesome person. A lot of guests say good things about me. I get compliments every day. I am humble about it. It's not about me, it's about the team. And I tell them, well, it's not just me who's working hard. It's, for example, it's Isaiah in the back working hard on pizza. It's our cafe staff. It's Isis in bakery. She works very hard every day. It's Dana, one of my store managers, who works in 6 different departments if she has to. That, I gotta tell you, that girl's a beast. She's an inspiration to many of the people who work there, including myself. And like, it's not just me. It's not just me. I work hard every day, but that's who I am. That's the person I am. I give it 110% every day. And but it's not just me. It's about the team. We work hard as a collective. And working at McEwen Yonge and Bloor is just incredible. It's just it's an incredible opportunity. It's an incredible opportunity, and I'm so And I'm so thankful to be a part of it. And I'm still so thankful to be a part of it. And working hard every day. And it's so good to be part of this team, and I know I'm getting off track, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't think this was gonna happen, but because I was going over what I was gonna say to you guys last night. I was going over in the bathroom, and I was gonna say all these things, and I was gonna tell you so much more, and I didn't think I was gonna get emotional like this, and I'm sorry. But yeah, like, you know, and we're in our second year now. And we're in our second year now, and first year was tough. First year was really tough. And we have been giving it our all every day, and I'm still giving it our all, and geez, I don't even know if I want to post this now. I don't even know if I want to post this video. It's just, we work hard. We work very hard, and I work very hard in whatever I do. And you've already seen this. I did a dedication video to one of my followers. I did another video of a song that I wrote 4 years ago, a freestyle hip-hop song called Another Day. You saw that video. It's on my channel. And, you know, but it's not just about me. It's about you guys. It's about the team. It's about, you know, it's about the passion that we all have, what we want to do, what we love. And I'm still thankful to be a part of it. My battery on my iPod is running low. I'm just letting you guys know. So I want to try and finish this story, but 2019 to me, it was a tough year. It was a stressful year. This is why I'm only working 5 days. I used to be available 7. Then halfway through the year, I said I would only be available 6, and now I'm available 5 because I want to do things that I want to do. I want to have more me time. And yeah, it's just. Don't worry, I'm still gonna post this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being so emotional. I'm really sorry. It's just, I posted a piece on McEwen this morning. I posted a piece. It's on my Instagram page, so please take a look. Hashtag follow me at jonno47jrd. It's I'm just so passionate about whatever I do. Whether it was working in the warehouse 5 years ago, whether it was working in retail or food where I am now, it's who I am. It's who I am. God, I'm such a wreck. I'm such an emotional wreck right now. I'm just so thankful. I'm just so thankful. And I want to do Instagram, and I want to do YouTube this year, because I want to show you guys like the next 10 years of my life. I just feel like it's important. I just feel like it's important for you guys, and I'm following you guys too, and I love your stories. I love your posts. I've been checking out them, and I try my best to keep up to date with all you guys. I have 46 followers now, so it's a lot, but I'm still committed. I spent I spent 3 hours on one of my followers' posts because he's an artist, so he has all these posts of art. Sorry, and anyway, my battery's gonna die soon. I didn't think this was gonna happen, but yeah, it was quite something because I was committed to looking at his post, looking at his page, and he's incredible. He's incredible. I still want to work with him because I did some modeling. Back in the day, I did some modeling 6 years ago. I posted modeling photos already, so you guys can take a look at that as well. And yeah, so it's just been incredible the last year and a half. And now we're in a new decade. Now it's 2020. Now here I am, being an emotional wreck for you guys, which is not what I thought I was going to be, but it's just like I don't know what just happened. But anyways, I'm not sure if I want to post this now. I don't know, but I'm going to post it anyway. I don't know if I can watch it because I'm going to be like, why was I such an emotional wreck? But I care. There's no other way to say it. I care. So, yeah. Wow, it's 11:52 already. Jeez, time flies. Time flies when you're having fun. But anyways, I'm gonna be posting another video tomorrow. My roommate's gonna help me out with that. I also have questions I want to ask you guys. Like I made a list of questions for you guys right here. So I want to ask you guys that. So that's probably going to be in a future video. I don't know when that's going to be, but keep posted. Again, hashtag follow me at jonno47. Hashtag YouTube channel jonno47jrd. I have a slight stutter, so, but yeah, I want to do this. I already have a list of things I want to do, and the list is still growing. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. Okay, I just don't know when, so be patient with me. I'm not doing everything all at once. I do multitask, but but I'm not like I'm not that crazy. But you guys are going to be in for good content. You guys are going to see a lot of good things from me. You guys are going to see a lot of good things, and yeah. Anyway, I got to end the video, or the iPod's going to die. But I hope you guys are having a great rest of your day wherever you are. Stay tuned, stay posted. If you miss any posts, please click on my profile pic, scroll down, instead of going one by one on your phone. That's in case you have other followers that you're following. I want you to see their posts, but I also want you to make sure you see mine as well. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, all right? Take care. Bye.